100 academic words for advanced English learners. Analyze, examine methodically and in detail. Students were asked to analyze the impact of climate change on biodiversity. Hypothesis, a possible explanation made on limited evidence as the start of an investigation. The hypothesis suggests that increased sunlight exposure leads to improved mood. Synthesize, combine different ideas to form a coherent whole. The research paper aims to synthesize various perspectives on urban development. Critique, evaluate and analyze something, often in a critical manner. The professor critiqued the methodology used in the experiment. Paradigm, a typical example or pattern of something. The study presented a new paradigm for understanding social behavior. Empirical, based on observation or experience rather than theory or logic. The researcher gathered empirical data to support their hypothesis. Quantitative, relating to measuring or measured by the quantity of something. The study found a correlation between income levels and quantitative measures of happiness. Qualitative, relating to measuring or measured by the quality of something. The qualitative analysis revealed participants' emotional responses to the stimulus. Ethical, relating to moral principles or the breach of knowledge dealing with these. The study was reviewed by an ethics committee to ensure participant welfare. Validity, the extent to which a test or piece of research measures what it claims to measure. The psychologist assessed the validity of the personality assessment tool. Credible, able to be believed or convincing. The scientist provided credible evidence to support her theory. Anomaly, something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected, something strange. The researcher discovered an anomaly in the experimental results. Correlation, a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. The study found a positive correlation between exercise and mental well-being. Phenomenon, a fact or situation that is observed to exist or happen, especially one whose cause or explanation is in question. The phenomenon of cultural assimilation is evident in immigrant communities. Abstract, existing in thought or as an idea but not having a physical or concrete existence. The concept of justice is abstract but has profound real-world implications. Bias, prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. The researcher aimed to minimize bias in the survey design. Conclusive, serving to prove a case, decisive or convincing. The conclusive evidence led to the conviction of the suspect. Consensus, general agreement among a group of people. There was a consensus among the committee members regarding the proposed policy changes. Context, the circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement, or idea, and in terms of which it can be fully understood and assessed. Understanding the historical context is essential for interpreting the poem accurately. Criteria, a principle or standard by which something may be judged or decided. The selection committee established specific criteria for evaluating scholarship applications. Deduce, arrive at a fact or conclusion by reasoning. Draw as a logical conclusion. From the data collected, researchers were able to deduce patterns in consumer behavior. Dilemma: a situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between two or more alternatives, especially equally undesirable ones. The CEO faced a dilemma between cutting costs and maintaining employee satisfaction. Discourse: written or spoken communication or debate. The discourse surrounding climate change policy has become increasingly contentious. Elaborate: involving many carefully arranged parts or details, detailed and complicated in design and planning. The researcher provided an elaborate explanation of the experimental procedure. Exemplify: be a typical example of. The study of this species exemplifies the challenges of conservation biology. Generalize: make a general or broad statement by inferring from specific cases. It is risky to generalize about human behavior based on a single study. Infer: deduce or conclude information from evidence and reasoning rather than from explicit statements. From the data collected, researchers were able to infer patterns of migration. Paradox: a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement or proposition that, when investigated or explained, may prove to be well-founded or true. The concept of time travel presents a paradox within the laws of physics. Malnutrition: a condition resulting from inadequate or unbalanced food intake. Malnutrition is prevalent in many developing countries where access to nutritious food is limited. Proponent: a person who advocates a theory, proposal, or project. The professor was a leading proponent of renewable energy research. Reconcile: restore friendly relations between two parties. The judge helped reconcile the conflicting parties' interests. Refute: prove a statement or theory to be wrong or false. Disprove: the researcher refuted the hypothesis with compelling evidence. Retrospective: looking back or dealing with past events or situations. The retrospective analysis revealed flaws in the initial study design. Substantiate: provide evidence to support or prove the truth of. The findings were substantiated by data from multiple experiments. Ambiguous: open to more than one interpretation, having a double meaning. The instructions were ambiguous, leading to confusion among participants. Assess: evaluate or estimate the nature, ability, or quality of. The teacher assessed the students' understanding through a series of quizzes. Conformity: compliance with standards, rules, or laws. Social conformity often shapes individuals. Criterion: a principle or standard by which something may be judged or decided. The primary criterion for admission is academic excellence. Evoke: bring or recall to the conscious mind. The painting evoked strong emotions among viewers. Implication: the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated. The implication of the study's findings is significant for public health policy. Inference: a conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. The researcher made an inference based on the patterns observed in the data. Discrepancy: a lack of compatibility or similarity between two or more facts or pieces of information. The auditor found a significant discrepancy between the reported and actual expenses. Epitome: a person or thing that is a perfect example of a particular quality or type. Einstein is often regarded as the epitome of genius in the field of physics. Fallacy: a mistaken belief, especially one based on unsound argument. The idea that all politicians are corrupt is a fallacy perpetuated by media bias. Imminent: about to happen, impending. The imminent arrival of the hurricane prompted widespread evacuation. Lucid, expressed clearly, easy to understand. The professor's lecture was so lucid that even the most complex concepts became clear. Nebulous, in the form of a cloud or haze. Hazy. The concept of beauty is often nebulous and subjective. Ominous, giving the impression that something bad or unpleasant is going to happen. The dark clouds gathering on the horizon were an ominous sign of the impending storm. Pristine, in its original condition, unspoiled. The archaeological site revealed artifacts in pristine condition, untouched for centuries. Resilient, able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Despite facing numerous setbacks, she remained resilient and continued pursuing her goals. Scrutinize, examine or inspect closely and thoroughly. The committee scrutinized the candidates' qualifications before making their decision. Tenacious, tending to keep a firm hold of something, clinging or adhering closely. Her tenacious grip on her principles earned her respect among her peers. Verbose, using or expressing in more words than are needed. The professor's verbose writing style made the textbook difficult for students to follow. Alleviate, make suffering, deficiency, or a problem less severe. Improve something. The new medication helped alleviate the patient's chronic pain. Corroborate, confirm or give support to a statement, theory, or finding. The eyewitness's testimony corroborated the victim's account of the incident. Enigma, a person or thing that is mysterious, puzzling, or difficult to understand. The Mona Lisa's enigmatic smile has puzzled art historians for centuries. Frivolous, not having any serious purpose or value. The lawsuit was dismissed as frivolous by the judge. Incongruous, not in harmony or keeping with the surroundings or other aspects of something. His casual attire seemed incongruous at such a formal event. Lethargic, sluggish and apathetic. After the long hike, she felt lethargic and struggled to stay awake. Myriad, a countless or extremely great number. The internet offers a myriad of resources for research and learning. Obtuse, annoyingly insensitive or slow to understand. His obtuse response to the problem only exacerbated the situation. Repudiate, refuse to accept or be associated with. The politician repudiated the allegations of corruption. Solace, comfort or consolation in time of distress or sadness. Nature provided solace to the grieving widow as she walked through the forest. Ubiquitous, present, appearing, or found everywhere. Smartphones have become ubiquitous in modern society. Venerate, regard with great respect or revere. Many cultures venerate their ancestors through rituals or ceremonies. Arcane, understood by few, mysterious or secret. The ancient rituals of the tribe remained arcane to outsiders. Discord, disagreement between people. The discord between team members hindered progress on the project. Euphemism, a mild or indirect word or expression substituted for one considered to be too harsh or blunt when referring to something unpleasant or embarrassing. Let go is often used as a euphemism for being fired from a job. Incendiary, tending to stir up conflict, inflammatory. The politician's incendiary remarks sparked outrage among the opposition. Meticulous, showing great attention to detail, very carefully and precise. The artist was meticulous in recreating every brushstroke of the masterpiece. Opulent, ostentatiously rich and luxurious or lavish. The opulent palace was adorned with gold and marble. Paragon, a person or thing regarded as a perfect example of a particular quality. She was considered a paragon of virtue in the community. Relegate, consign or dismiss to an inferior rank or position. He felt relegated to a subordinate role within the organization. Sycophant, a person who acts flattering towards someone important in order to gain advantage. The sycophant flattered the CEO in hopes of a promotion. Unprecedented, never done or known before. The scale of the natural disaster was unprecedented in the region's history. Vicarious, experienced in the imagination through feelings or actions of another person. She lived vicariously through her daughter's successes. Aberration, a departure from what is normal, usual, or expected, typically one that is unwelcome. The sudden surge in temperature was an aberration for this time of year. Capitulate, cease to resist an opponent or an unwelcome demand, to surrender. Faced with overwhelming odds, the general decided to capitulate. Dissent, the opinion that is different from what most people believe. The minority report presented a dissenting opinion on the proposed policy. Refine, to improve something by making small changes, particularly in methods or processes. The researchers refined their experimental techniques to obtain more accurate results. Facetious, treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor. His facetious remarks during the meeting caused everyone to be upset at him. Ambivalent, having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something or someone. She felt ambivalent about the proposed changes to the curriculum. Zealot, a person who is fanatical and uncompromising in pursuit of their religious, political, or other ideals. The zealot's fervent beliefs often alienated those with differing opinions. Fathom, understand, a difficult problem or enigmatic person after much thought. Despite numerous attempts, he could not fathom her motivations. Hegemony, leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. The empire's hegemony extended over vast territories. Conceptualize, to form a concept or ideas of something. The ability to conceptualize abstract ideas is crucial for theoretical research. Explicate, to analyze and develop an idea or principle in detail. The philosopher sought to explicate the underlying concepts of the theory. Augment, to make something greater by adding to it. To increase. The study aims to augment the current understanding of climate change. Contextualize, to place something within a context to understand it better. The historian contextualized the event within the broader social and economic trends of the time. Formulate, to create or devise a method or strategy in a systematic way. The team formulated a new approach to solve the problem. Extrapolate, to infer or estimate by extending or projecting known information. Researchers can extrapolate future trends based on the data collected. Collaborate, to work jointly with others, especially in an intellectual endeavor. Scientists often collaborate with colleagues in different fields to enhance their research. Elucidate, to make something clear or to explain. The professor elucidated the complex theory with a series of simple examples. Hypothesize, to interpret or to propose based on established facts. A plausible explanation or reasonable basis for further investigation of something. The scientists hypothesize that the new drug will have fewer side effects. Differentiate. To recognize or ascertain what makes something different. The study differentiates between various types of social behavior. Empirically, based on observation or experience rather than theory or pure logic. The study is empirically grounded, relying on data collected from extensive field work. Paradoxical, seeming absurd or self-contradictory. The concept of time travel creates paradoxical implications for causality. Critically, in a way that expresses or involves an analysis of the merits and faults of a work. The article critically examines the assumptions underlying the research methodology. Efficacy, the ability to produce a desired or intended result. The efficacy of the treatment was confirmed through clinical trials. Pragmatic, dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. The pragmatic approach to the problem yielded effective solutions.